This is the Eternal Flame Falls at Chestnut Ridge Park in Orchard Park. Went there yesterday and caught this treasure at the absolute perfect time.
Did you ever think about how, with all the science and technology we have, some things on Earth still don't make sense? Some places don't have plains, rocks split in half exactly, and rivers shine like rainbows.
Perfectly flat, very close to, and it's still polished after nearly 2,500 years. So this is astonishing. Look at the shine.
These are real events that will blow your mind. They're not fairy tales. Take a seat, put on your headphones, and get ready for a journey into 20 of the most mysterious places experts still can't explain. You won't want to miss this. Number 20. Bermuda Triangle in the North Atlantic Ocean. The name of the place, the Bermuda Triangle, alone makes you feel scared. It connects Florida, Bermuda, and the Greater Antilles, and lies quietly in the North Atlantic Ocean. This plain-looking stretch of water has a very interesting past hidden within it. Over the past few decades, ships and planes have gone missing without a trace, and rescue teams sent to find them have never come back. Scientists have spent a lot of time looking through data to find answers. Some say that wild waves can be up to 10 stories high and swallow whole ships. Others say it's because of strange magnetic events that make compasses lose their way, or methane gas bubbling up from the ocean bottom, which is strong enough to sink ships in seconds. But none of these ideas fully explain everything. Stranger ideas like alien abductions, openings to other worlds, and doors to other dimensions start to grow there. No one really knows the truth. That water could be crossed without any trouble, or you could just disappear, leaving only comments and questions behind. The mystery and the legend will never be answered because of how unpredictable things are. You think nature can't get any stranger? Just wait until you see the rock in Saudi Arabia that looks like it was cut in half by a laser. Number 19. Al-Naslaa Rock Formation in Saudi Arabia. Al-Naslaa is a rock that is hard to believe, and it sits in the middle of Saudi Arabia's Tema Oasis. Visualize a huge sandstone rock that has been cut in half so precisely that it looks like a laser was used to do it. Each half rests delicately on small natural pedestals that are perfectly level, as if gravity wanted to be a part of the puzzle. The carvings on its surface, which were made by people thousands of years ago and include animals, people, and strange symbols, make it even stranger. They're not understood or known for their reason for being. Geologists say that the flawless cut could be caused by erosion or a fault line, but others say it could be due to lost technologies or even aliens. But no matter what caused it, the rock has turned into a nature puzzle that won't reveal its pieces. At first glance, you can tell that this is more than just a rock formation. It looks like a puzzle from another time, daring you to solve it. Don't believe a split rock in the desert is weird. Just wait until you see a river in Colombia that every year turns into a living rainbow. Number 18. Cano Cristales in Colombia. The Cano Cristales River in Colombia looks like it was drawn by magic. It's deep in the country, where the Andes, the Amazon, and the Orinoco basins all meet. It's not just water moving through the rocks. In the sun, it looks like a band of red, yellow, green, blue, and black lights up. This beautiful show is made possible by a rare plant called Macarenia clavigera, which grows along the riverbank and only blooms at certain times of the year. Scientists know how biology works, but they don't know why this exact mix of plants, water chemistry, and sunshine doesn't happen anywhere else on Earth. It's like nature chose this one spot to be its own creation. If you go at the right time, you'll be standing in front of a liquid rainbow, which is strange, short, and hard to forget. In a world where beauty and mystery flow together, it's a warning that science still has a long way to go. But if you think a rainbow river is cool, wait until you see a waterfall in New York where water and fire live together and burn forever, which makes no sense. Number 17. Eternal Flame Falls in New York. Deep in a quiet part of New York, there is a small waterfall that hides something very special. A light that never goes out. Imagine walking through a forest and hearing the sound of water cascading. Then you look behind the waterfall and see a bright fire. Not any wood, not a match. There is only a light dancing while water pours around it. The code was found. Gases like methane, ethane, propane, and butane leak out from deep inside the earth and keep the spark going for who knows how long. That being said, this place still feels like it's from another world. The gas source is deeper and older than most things found in the earth, which makes it a real natural oddity. When you add in the ghost stories, time shifts, and strange feelings that tourists say they've had, Eternal Flame Falls becomes more than just a scientific curiosity. It's where science and magic meet, and the feeling of awe that it gives you is hard to shake. If you think a hidden flame is weird, wait until we get to Mexico City. There, we'll find secrets buried in volcanic ash in an old circular tower. Number 16. Pyramid of Cuicuilco in Mexico City. In the middle of Mexico City's chaos, the Pyramid of Cuicuilco stands out like a piece of history stuck in the past. The pyramids of Teotihuacan and the Maya were sharp and tall, but this one is round, rising from the ground like a perfect ring. It was built around 1200 BC by a culture that we don't know much about. It was the center of a thriving city and a place of worship and ceremony. Then, bad things happened. Everything was covered in ash from a violent volcanic explosion, and the ruins were kept safe under layers of hardened lava. It was like nature herself locked the story away. Archaeologists have found signs like proof of farming, religious practices, and a society that was advanced for its time. But they still don't know who built the structures. This old site is even stranger because it is now hidden by highways, shopping malls, and homes. It is a quiet reminder of what was here before. It feels like you've stepped into a different time when you walk around. The silence tells stories that history books can't. And just when you think you know how creative people can be, the trip takes us to India, where caves that were built thousands of years ago hold secrets that modern tools can't figure out. Number 15. Barabar Caves in India. They are tucked away in the hills of Bihar, India. The Barabar Caves are proof that history still has mysteries that science can't explain. They were carved more than 2,000 years ago, and experts are still not sure how they got their smooth, mirror-like walls and perfect symmetry. How did past builders, who didn't have any high-tech tools, shape solid granite so perfectly? The Ajavikas lived in these caves in the past. They were a strange group of monks who were known for being very strict and living on almost nothing while they wandered around naked. Strange writings are cut into the stone inside the caves. They look like codes from another time, and people are still arguing about what they mean. Every sound you make in one of these rooms echoes back at you, like the cave itself is living. It's like time stopped here, leaving behind a glimpse of deep dedication and engineering brilliance that was way ahead of its time. And just when you think that old craftsmanship can't get any better, we sail across the rough Atlantic to an island in Ireland where monks built a home high above the waves. Number 14. Skellig Michael in Ireland. Skellig Michael is both far away and beautiful. It rises like a sharp tooth from the Atlantic Ocean. In the 6th century, monks picked this outcropping of rock to build a monastery. They carved 618 steep, uneven steps into the rock face and stacked stone huts that are still there today. Storms Being alone and not being able to easily get fresh water made things very hard for them. But they kept going, holding on to their faith on a rock in the middle of an endless ocean. It's still a mystery how they built these stone houses without modern tools. It shows how skilled and determined they were. Celtic myths and old rituals are said to have connected the island to a holy place long before the monks came, adding to its already haunting beauty. The island is now a protected area where thousands of seabirds live and make loud noises. It's hard to stay still when you're there because you can feel something bigger pulling you. See you soon. If you think a rough island is amazing, wait until you see an Indonesian volcano where the night is lit up with electric blue fire. Number 13. Kawah Ijen in Indonesia. This place in East Java, Indonesia, called Kawah Ijen, looks like it came from a science fiction movie. During the day, it's a blue lake in the crater of a volcano that's still active. The water is so acidic that it can melt metal. The mountain is a glowing inferno during the day, but at night, neon blue fire lines race down its sides. It's not magic. This strange glow is caused by sulfuric gas igniting when it meets air. But even after hearing about the science behind it, it still feels like you're not in this world. The toxic fumes and extreme temperatures make it one of the most dangerous places to explore. Even the most experienced explorers will find it hard to survive. This unusual event only happens in a few places on Earth, making Kawah Ijen a unique wonder. It makes me think of how wild and unexpected nature can be, and how beautiful and dangerous things can come together in the most amazing way. Kawah Ijen is full of color and mystery. Our next stop is the endless sands of southern Africa, where a traveler made a claim that started one of the most famous desert stories ever. Number 12. Lost City of the Kalahari in southern Africa. Explorers have been trying to solve this puzzle for more than 100 years, but no one has been able to find it. In the late 18s, a Canadian explorer said that he had found the ruins of an old city in this harsh, dry landscape. He said that he saw stone walls, carved blocks, and even buildings that looked like churches. His story sparked a search that took place in the desert right away, but no one ever found solid proof. They did find some strange rock formations and weathered stones that almost looked like they were made. These discoveries have added to the argument about whether the lost city was really a civilization buried by shifting sands or just nature playing tricks. The desert is very secretive and will eat anything that stands still. The story of the lost city of the Kalahari is still one of the oldest and most mysterious stories in Africa. Explorers are still looking for hints of lost history. Meanwhile, in a quiet Norwegian valley, lights dance across the sky in ways that don't make sense. Number 11. Hessdalen lights in Norway. There is a strange light show in the sky, sometimes over a small valley in the middle of Norway. No one can explain it. The Hessdalen lights show up out of the blue. They are bright orbs that hover, dart, or streak across the sky and can stay there for hours. Reports of them go back to the 1930s, but after decades of study, no one has figured out what they are. Scientists have ideas about what might be causing it. It could be ball lightning, ionized gas, or cosmic rays reacting with the unique geology of the valley. But none of those ideas explain every report, so there is still a lot of room for guesswork. Some people see it as proof of UFOs, while others see it as a natural mystery that needs an answer. People who live there have learned to live with the secret, but every time it shows up, it brings in curious tourists who want to see the lights for themselves. It looks like the sky is hiding something because the lights flash, go away, and come back. There are some very strange lights in Norway, but they're not even close to the mysteries that await on a hill in Lithuania, where faith, dedication, and eerie beauty meet. Number 10. Hill of Crosses in Lithuania. Somewhere in northern Lithuania, there is a hill that doesn't just talk, it screams. People have put more than 100,000 crosses, crucifixes, and other religious images on the Hill of Crosses, which is a rise in the land. There's no clear story about how it began. Others say it turned into a quiet revolt against oppressors who tried to wipe out the people's spirit. Some say it started out as an act of faith many years ago. Even stranger is how it has survived being destroyed over and over again. During occupations, bulldozers tore it down, but every time more crosses showed up than before, as if defiance were living in the ground. This year, travelers from all over the world have added their own crosses. The soft clinking of rosaries dancing in the wind fills the air. Stay there long enough, and the wind will carry the eerie music of devotion to you. It's a sound that will stay with you long after you leave. A living wonder of faith, strength, and something bigger that no one can quite name. It's more than just a monument. If you think a hill of crosses is strange, wait until you go down into a Mexican cave and see diamonds that are as big as houses. Number 9. Cave of Crystals in Naica Mine. Something that looks like it could be from another world was found deep in the Chihuahua Desert. There is a very hot room underground called the Cave of Crystals inside the Naica mine. It is full of huge gypsum crystals, some of which are 39 feet long. Inside, it's so hot and humid that explorers can only stay for minutes at a time. But every second feels like a dream. Crystals form in a way that scientists understand, but they don't know why these ones got so big. The right amount of heat, mineral-rich water, and time worked together to make a natural temple with pillars that look like glass and sparkle in the light. The weather is beautiful, but dangerous. It can get up to 130 degrees, and the humidity is so high that you'll drown in sweat. The cave feels like a forest vault that is locked and only briefly opens to the public. Its doors have been shut again to protect the wonder, but the question still stands. Why did the Earth grow such huge plants here and nowhere else? But Earth isn't done showing off. In Turkey, under layers of volcanic rock, people dug out an underground city that seems impossible. Number 8. Derinkuyu underground city in Turkey. In Cappadocia, Turkey, there is a world deep below the peaceful surface that was shaped by creativity and desperation. More than 280 feet below the surface, Derinkuyu is more than just a cave. It's a multi-level underground city. Whole communities used to live here and hide from danger in a maze that was built for that purpose. There are narrow tunnels that go through volcanic rock and lead to rooms that used to be kitchens, stables, churches, and even storage places. Engineers are still amazed at how the ventilation system kept fresh air moving through all 20,000 levels, letting them live for months at a time without being found. Some think it was a safe place to hide from attackers, while others think it was an old safe place to go during bad weather or wars that have been lost to history. No one is sure who built it or how they were able to make it so precise with such simple tools. When you walk through those tunnels, you feel like you're entering a dark past. The silence carries the weight of lives that have been lost. And just when you think that everyone knows all of humanity's secrets, China tells us that some secrets should stay hidden, like the ones in the tomb of its first emperor. Number 7. Tomb of Emperor Qin Shi Huang in China. The grave of Qin Shi Huang, the first ruler of a united China, is in Xi'an, China. It is one of the most secret mysteries in archaeology. When farmers found the site in 1974, they were shocked to see a life-sized terracotta army. There were thousands of soldiers, each with a unique face, standing still to protect their ruler in the afterlife. We have seen a lot, but what we haven't seen is the real prize. The real tomb, which is hidden under a fake hill, is still locked. In ancient writings, there is talk of an underground palace with rivers of mercury, maps of the stars on the roof, and treasures that are hard to imagine. High amounts of mercury have been found in the soil using modern technology. This makes excavation dangerous. But even if safety wasn't a problem, some experts think that opening the tomb could destroy the items inside before they can be preserved. It's still unchanged for now. It's a secret world waiting for the right time to show itself. In Siberia, thousands of miles away, a crater rises like a scar and holds a mystery that hasn't gone away for decades. This is where China's ancient secret lies. Number 6. Patomskiy crater in Russia. In the deep woods of Siberia, there is a shape that looks like it came straight out of a science fiction book. It's called the Patomskiy crater and is more than 100 feet high. It looks like a big nest with a rock sitting in the middle, like an egg. Scientists thought it was the result of a meteor strike when it was first found, but no pieces were ever found. The land around the crater adds to the mystery. There is lush forest everywhere, but nothing grows on or near the crater, as if the ground itself doesn't want life. Researchers have come up with a lot of ideas, like gas blasts underground or long dormant volcanic activity, but none of them fully explain the shape, the age, or the strange radiation readings that are sometimes found nearby. There are also stories from the area's people that say animals stay away from the area, and hunters have seen strange lights dancing over the crater at night. It seems very old, dangerous, and completely mysterious. You think you've seen every strange thing the Earth has to offer. Then you go to Italy and see a tree growing out of another tree, which goes against all the rules of nature. Number 5. Doubletree of Casorzo in Italy. In the peaceful farmland of Casorzo, Italy, nature has done something that scientists still don't fully understand. Someone planted a cherry tree inside the trunk of a live mulberry tree. It's a beautiful sight that makes you stop and stare. Both are living, growing, and blooming at the same time, with their branches tangled together like one plant. After looking into it, experts think that a bird may have dropped a cherry seed into a small hole in the mulberry many years ago. The seed sprouted over time and found just the right amount of soil and water to grow. It then sent its roots deep into the mother tree. However, that doesn't fully explain the situation because these two trees have been growing together for decades through storms and seasons, standing tall as if they were not following any natural rules. Two very different species share one life, which is a real example of strength and how two species can live together in unexpected ways. When both trees bloom at the same time in the spring, it's a beautiful sight that reminds us that sometimes the impossible doesn't just happen, it thrives. Just when you think the world's strangest sights can't get any stranger, lines appear in the Peruvian desert that are so big and clear that they can only be seen from above. Number 4. Nazca Lines in Peru. The Nazca Lines are one of the most mysterious sights in the world. They are in the middle of the dry, endless Peruvian desert. These huge geoglyphs cover almost 170 square miles and are shaped like hummingbirds, monkeys, spiders, and complex geometric designs. Some of them are hundreds of feet long. The catch is that you can only see them in their entirety from above, which is not something that people from ancient times were meant to be able to do. Archaeologists think that the Nazca people built them around 500 BCE by scraping off the dark stones on top to show the lighter earth below. The real question is why they did this. Some experts think the lines were used to mark the stars, or as paths for religious ceremonies to honor the gods. Some people wonder if there were maps that showed secret water sources in the desert. There are also ideas that are fun to think about, like the ones that say the drawings are messages to aliens from other worlds, drawn with such accuracy that it seems almost impossible. When you walk on the desert floor, the lines look like shallow ditches, but when you look at them from above, they look like perfect, amazing designs. No one really knows what they were there for, but the fact that they are there shows that even the most advanced societies left secrets that were easy to find. When you leave the hot desert, the wonder grows even more in Kazakhstan, where a barren plateau changes the rules of reality. Number 3. Barak Plateau in Kazakhstan. There is a piece of land in Kazakhstan that looks like it's from another world, called the Barak Plateau. It used to be an island in the Aral Sea, but now it's just a barren, quiet place where strange stories have been told. Locals talk about strange time changes where hours seem to go by in minutes, and tourists who vanish without a trace, and then show up years later without remembering what happened. Some people who have been brave enough to camp there say they woke up with blue skin and can't explain it. Others say they saw glowing lights and heard strange noises in the middle of the night. People from nearby towns can't figure out what's going on in a small, creepy graveyard spread out across the plateau. Scientists have tried to study the area and have come up with theories about everything from strange magnetic fields to pollution in the environment, but none of their work has led to solid answers. The Barak Plateau is very scary because it's hard to explain. It's a place where logic breaks down and fear hangs in the air. The next stop on our trip is Italy, where a stone giant from the 16th century looks almost like it's alive. This hill makes you question reality. Number 2. Appennine Colossus in Italy. Along the coast of Tuscany near Florence, there is a park with a huge stone statue called the Appennine Colossus. This huge statue, which is over 35 feet tall, was built by the sculptor Giambologna in the late 15s. It's not just an amazing piece of art, it's also a brilliant engineering feat. From the outside, it looks like an old giant is rising from the ground and holding a stone monster. But the statue is hollow on the inside, with rooms and secret tunnels built into its core. Through cleverly built pipes, the giant can sweat, cry, and even breathe smoke thanks to old water systems. Its eyes have holes in them that let light through, and there are secret rooms where people used to be able to stand and watch water run around them. Engineers are still confused by how precisely and cleverly it was made, even with today's technology. It looks like the Colossus was built hundreds of years before its time. It combines art and technology in a way that feels alive today. And even though this stone giant is amazing, the strange story in Minnesota, where a whole river just vanishes, is even stranger. Number 1. Devil's Kettle Waterfall in Minnesota, USA. The Brule River does something that makes no sense in Judge C.R. Magny State Park in Minnesota. It splits into 2 streams as it speeds toward Lake Superior. One side has a normal loud stream going down it. The other one goes down into a huge hole in the rock and is gone. It's been decades since scientists have tried to figure this puzzle out. They put things like dye, ping pong balls, and even GPS trackers down the hole with the plan that they would come up later. But nothing ever comes out. The lake doesn't have any color. There are no ping pong balls. The main ideas about what's happening with the water are that it might be going into cracks or channels in the ground. But until proof is found, the Devil's Kettle will stay a natural mystery. You can feel the river's power and hear its roar from close by. But you still don't understand how a whole stream can just disappear. Nature has kept this secret for a long time, and scientists and travelers keep coming back to solve it. One last look at the moving water makes you think of how much of our world we still don't know about. There are mysteries waiting just beyond what we think we know. Mysteries like these keep our curiosity alive, so don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more mind-blowing content. And before you leave, tap the next video popping up on your screen. Trust me, you definitely don't want to miss it.